I do want to start investing more of my money, and I think once I become an official young professional and I have a steady state of income, that's something I want to prioritize. But definitely also my mom is a probate attorney, and I am always thinking about wills and real estate. So I definitely think creating a will and figuring out how I want to make sure that my wealth is secured for future generations will be important to me.
Transaction I'm going to talk about and the goal that I have revolves around profitable business. I am a huge advocate for Black-owned businesses, and for myself, I don't have maybe a fully established business just yet, but something that I've been doing this year and hope to continue throughout next year's is to make my public speaking and social media more profitable. And I do a lot of educational work on my social media platforms as well. Specifically, I utilize Instagram and TikTok. And in case people don't know, on TikTok, there's something called the Creators Fund, which awards you money based on how many views and how many people you're reaching with your content. So that's one way that I'm actually able to make money for myself. And public speaking, most of the time and most often, I'll get paid for one of the presentations that I give.
One of my missions is to, encourage all Black people to get a will. Right now, because we're young, we may think that we're invincible, but this world reminds us every day that we are not. And in order to build equity, in order to build sustainability, we have to make sure that the ones that we care about are left with the plan and are left with finances.
There are small steps that I can take right now to kind of start developing good credit and realizing, I think for me as a college student, my junior year in college, it's really important for me to start thinking about my credit score, because that's really important, of course, if I'm going to be buying a car, buying a house at some point in my life. And those are goals that I want to reach.
So I definitely think One United's new initiative will have a positive impact just in the fact of awareness and making sure people understand what options they have, and that they're prioritizing making sure that the Black community is building wealth. One place where the divide is very stark is in housing, especially thinking about home ownership. And that can be directly tied back to a lot of racist policies that the United States created that has rained down to today. I think in thinking about who owns homes, who is allowed to get mortgages, that still affects Black home ownership. So in thinking about one transaction, I really hope more people prioritize owning homes, because that is a major way to pass down wealth throughout generations.
So I think one transaction is powerful for our community because it makes financial literacy digestible. It's not a bunch of concepts being flooded onto someone at once. It's not drinking from a fire hose, but rather it's trying to get each person to hone in and really dedicate themselves to one specific thing at first. So I think one transaction is powerful in that it makes these really larger than life and super important and valuable concepts bite-sized so that anyone can kind of do that.
I believe the work that one transaction is doing is necessary because for a lot of students of color, for a lot of Black students, we're not taught about these resources at home. But because we have gone the first 18 years of our lives without knowing, the importance of a will, without knowing the importance of a power of attorney, without knowing what a good credit score can get you, what advantages that brings, without knowing how to save, without knowing the difference between paying rent and having a mortgage, nothing is wrong with having a little reinforcement.
With One United being, the largest Black-owned bank, I really feel that it is admirable to take this on and to use the resources to be able to invest back in the community, letting about the 6 things, a will, insurance, home ownership. So, when we're at the point where we want to buy a house, we'll be ready and we don't have to start the process that some of our peers started when they were 18. And so I think it'll have the largest impact on it from an education perspective, but I also think it will give us agency to kind of use what we have already to start building towards what we want.